Hi, this is GS from UOOE.organization, University of Online Education. Today, this session we are going to discuss deep detail about functions. Practically, I will show you how the sessions are workable in a real-time script. Up to now, we discussed about functions and function with parameters, how to pass values into other function. Uh, how to return a value in function we discussed up to now. Right now I'm giving you practical idea how actually function works with a real-time example. Right now I'm creating one table with like a number 1 and number 2 tables. Input type equal to text, id equal to something like n1. I'm creating another table. I'm creating button. Not button name, button value will be like here what is the example is, suppose I will take two function, one is for multiplication, one is for subtraction. If I click on one button means it has to call one function which multiply these values. If I click subtraction means it has to call another function which perform subtraction value. It's something like multiplication. And on click multiply is the function, and other button is this one, and its value is subtraction, and on click is subtract, subtract, and created two functions. Here it is. Not on blur. On blur means it will perform on tab, so I want to click. So I'm just function example dot html. I save this file. If you click and open here, just right now we have two text boxes. What example I'm going to show is, if I enter some 8 and if I enter some line and click on this multiplication means it has to show multiplication total. If I click on subtraction means it has to show subtraction value. For this we have to make two functions, one for multiplication, one for subtraction. Let's see how to do that. First of all, creating multiplication function name is multiply. On click, I'm creating this. This is one function, and other function is subtraction. This is the subtract. This is subtract. Let me check these functions are working properly or not. Alert. By using alert box we can check a valid debugging purpose. First, suppose this is for multiplication, and other one alert is for, this is for subtraction. So let me check. If I click on this means it display this is for multiplication. If I click here means it is show subtraction. So here two functions we are calling. So right now in JavaScript I will show you how to get a text box ID, because if I enter any value in this text box and click on the button means this text box ID, I mean the value on the text box should come to in this function. So this is the way how to call text box ID. Doc like where num1 equal to document dot get element by ID. And ID of the text box is n1. Here we declare ID of the text box is n1. So I clear here dot value. This is the way how to get a value of a text box. Suppose if I print num1 alert means alert num1 means, suppose if I enter something like 45 and click here means here itself showing 45. I mean here what happening is what the data I am entering here I can view on the alert box means I am getting here. By using document.getElement by ID is a statement in order to get ID of a text box. ID of text box is nothing but the value which entered into the text box. So this is value of text box n1. So another one I want to get second text box value also, where num2 equal to so if I make a lot of num1 a lot of num2 means if I check here means it will display two text box values in ID box, 45 and 65. If I click here, first I got 45 and next I will get 66, means two text box, the value which I entered in two text box are getting in this function. So in this multiplication I want to do multiply. So it is next is easy, just var value equal to num1 into num2. So I want to print this right. This is the multiplication value is this. If I print this multiple variable means let me check. if I enter 10, 5 and multiply means this is the multiplication value is 50. So 10 into 5, 50. I mean, so this function is executed. Suppose I want subtraction. For subtraction also same. I want to get where num1 same like a document that get element ID. I can copy this one. For num2 also same. I mean, this application in this here, if you print this one, we can't get anything because we didn't do any we didn't build any logic to the subtraction, but we didn't we built logic. I mean, we get in text box and build a logic to the multiply. So if you enter any value and 5 into 5 means 20, 5 into 6 means 30. So for subtraction we are building like where where 1 minus, we need not to use where, we can directly use num1 minus num2. So if you place this value means now we can get subtraction value. For subtraction, suppose 10 minus 5, I want to subtract this one. If I click this function means value will be 5. Sorry, this is subtraction value. If I want multiply 6 into 6 means if I click this function, the multiplication function, this function will work. And if I want for subtraction, if I click on subtraction like 8 minus 9, and if I want to perform subtraction means this subtraction, this part of code will work. This is how we build functions and usage. I mean, we can build a number of functions, but the function will execute when we particularly call the function. So if I need a multiplication means I'm calling multiply function. If need subtraction means I'm calling subtraction function. This is how normal functions use. And suppose if you want directly, I mean, I want to use, let us take a look at how functions with parameters works. I'm need not to giving any value here. This is the example of normal function, but right now I'm going to show you a function with arguments, parameters. Suppose I didn't have any text boxes. See here, just I have multiplication and subtraction. So if I want to pass multiply and subtract value to these functions means I can directly give like value. These are the parameters, 5. So definitely if it contains 2 parameters, so I want to take here directly as num1 comma num2. So I need not of getting text box values because they are not text boxes. So if you see here, if you click multiplication, we are just getting the multiplication is 50 because this is the example of function with parameters. I mean, I'm passing here 2 parameters and I take here 2 parameters, so I directly calculated this one. For subtraction also, like I will, if I give 2 parameters like 50 comma 40, so same here it will contain 2 parameters, num1 comma and num2. So if I remove for text box size is not required here. If I click on subtraction means you will get minus 10, because here 50 minus 40, it will take num1 as 50, num2 as 40. I mean, this is the example how normal function and function with parameters have worked in real time. So that's it about functions, how it real timely works. And in coming sessions we will discuss briefly. Once we start with the PHP means every we can hugely use these functions dynamically. I mean, right now I'm using statically entering fields, but once we start with PHP means we can directly include dynamic values here. At the time you will get a brief idea how dynamic functions will work. That's it in this session. Thank you.